Hello everyone, Namaste. Welcome to FitNCalm's Sunday Live. I hope everyone is doing good. I know these are testing times, but please be assured this phase will also go through. Sorry about that. Okay. To all of us joining live, a very warm welcome to you all. If you're watching this live or if you're watching this later, you can leave a hi from wherever you are in the comments below. And I'm Tejasvi, and at FitNCalm, we strive to bring you yoga on as well as off the mat. So apart from sharing the daily yoga practice videos with you all, these Sunday lives are an opportunity for us to bring you more knowledge in various aspects of holistic living, as well as an opportunity to dive deeper into the ancient Indian knowledge. So today we are going to see about water. Like 60 to 70% of our body is water. It's more in newborns, 77%. Men have more water than women, or our organs have high amounts of water, like lungs 83%, kidneys 79%, brain and heart 73%. Even bones have water, like 31%. So, and water has many uses, and we hardly give any importance to it. So today we are very happy to welcome Dr. Nikita back on our Sunday webinars. So she is an Ayurveda doctor from Shri Shri Ayurveda Science and Research. She's a yoga instructor and a nutritionist. She's very passionate about curating vegetarian recipes, and she believes in every human deserves to be healthy and happy and aspires to be the reason for that journey to wellness. So welcome back, Nikita. Over to you.
Thank you, Tejasvi. I'm so glad I'm back with FitNCalm here. So let's quickly dive into our session. I'll just share my screen here. Just a second. Am I audible to all?
Yes.
All right. So let's start. So, as the topic of today's goes, water and elixir of life. So, do you know who coined this? Not exactly coined, but there was one scientist from India who, after a lot of his research, though he didn't do much about water, he actually called water as the elixir of life. So, that was from C.D. Raman. And so, as Tejasvi gave a quick introduction about water, so 75% of our brain is composed of water. The blood, 82%, though here my blood looks like silk sari, and 90% of the lung is also composed of water. And a mere 2% of decrease in this concentration can lead to severe dehydration, short-term memory, lack of focus, and a lot more other complications. So we need to always make sure the water is well balanced in our system. And so today in our session, we will be understanding how to drink water, how much to drink, when not to drink, the concept of cooking water, and how to use water to heal the body, and something about water memory. So let's understand the basics. So putting in very simple terms, as per Ayurveda, ideal water should help in digestion, should help in cooling and balancing the pitta dosha. Pitta dosha is the heat element in the body, and it should support kapha dosha and counteract the dryness caused by the vata dosha, to keep it very simple. And now we'll understand it better. So I thought it's best if we start with the idea of cooking of water, understanding that first. So here we come to cooking of water. So the word might confuse a lot of people. We usually think only food needs to be cooked, but today I'm here to tell you that no, even water needs to undergo cooking. And okay, not complicating it much, but cooking, when I say here, is just about boiling water in a specific way for a specific amount of time. So when you cook water, it brings in much more qualities to the water. For example, it brings a quality called as tikshna, which translates to sharpness. So anything that is sharp, what is the quality of it? It is able to penetrate into anything very easily. So similarly, when water is cooked, it becomes more tikshna, so it is able to get into different cells of the body, and it penetrates to even the smallest channels of the body, and it cleanses and enhances the moisture absorption. And in Ayurveda, cooked water is called as ushnodaka. And specific time, not specific time, but a specific amount of reduction is also mentioned when it comes to boiling. So here it is. For a person who is predominant of Vata nature, he has to consume a water which is boiled and reduced to 1/4. A Pitta Prakriti person should be boiling and reducing the water to half. And a Kapha Prakriti person should boil and reduce to 3/4. And now everyone must be wondering, if you put a whole big pot of water, and if I'm a Vata person, I'll have to, reduce it to 1/4. How long is it going to take? It's going to, hike up the price of the gas is so much these days. All that said and done, so this is the basic. So this is what is mentioned in the Shastra. But at least if you're not able to do in the same way, at least make sure that you boil your water. After it is attained the boiling point, you boil it for another 5 to 10 minutes at least to get the good quality of boiled or cooked water. And Ayurveda also mentions something called as Jalaparipaka Kala, or the duration of digestion. So now this might really interest a lot of people. So it says regular water, the water that is not boiled, takes about 6 hours for it to get into every channels, and provided all the channels are clear in the body. And boiled and cooled water takes about 3 hours, and hot herbalized water takes about 1.5 hours. So this clearly shows the Tikshna Guna of the water is what determines the amount of time that it takes in the body. So see, when I say it takes so much of time to digest in the body, what we are referring to is the time it takes to penetrate into every cell of the body. See, if you chug some water, you might feel that you're going to pee in another 10 or 15 minutes. Of course, it's not going to get absorbed. We'll come to that in the coming posts. So apart from that, if you're taking water in the ideal way, it should be taking around 3 hours to or 1.5 hours if it's a herbalized water. So we'll get into details as we go on. So now the next question comes: how much water to drink? So here we are all blessed with our own measurement system in the body, which is called as thirst. Yeah, and thirst is dependent on a lot of different factors, starting from age, the weather, the diet, body type, stress levels of a person, herbal food supplement that a person might be consuming at any point of time, and the physical work or the exercise. So, for example, when it comes to diet, imagine you're taking a lot of refined food. On a day you feel you're going to have a pizza, or you're taking more of bread stuff, bread, bread. So what happens is, because it's more refined, there's less of fiber. So when there's less of fiber, the food is not able to hold on to water for a longer time. So body dehydrates much faster. So when you have such refined food, your body would demand more water. So this is where you need to listen to the thirst. And for example, another example of body type, a calm pitta kind of a warmer pitta kind of body would feel more thirstier compared to kapha. And similarly, for a vata person, they would experience a lot of dehydration, dryness of skin, such kind of symptoms in general. So they would also require a much more amount of water compared to the kapha prakriti people. And about physical work or exercise. So if we can take an example of a farmer who's out in the sun working 8 hours or more than that. So when you're out in the sun, your body dehydrates, you sweat out more. So and imagine another person who is sitting in an AC room throughout the day, for 8 hours. So the water consumption of both the persons would be entirely different. So now here, I'm sure you would be able to make some sense when somebody tells you have 8 glasses of water or every person should have 2.5 liters of water, right? So water, the amount of water body requires shouldn't be generic. It's very specific. And to keep it very simple, the idea is to listen to your thirst. That is the only bio measurement that the body can give you. And of course, if you drink the right amount of water, there are few signs that the body would show us. So if you're optimally hydrated, the urine would be straw colored, pale yellow colored. So if you think your urine is too white or too clear, then that means you're over drinking. Or if it's too yellow in color, you are underhydrated. Similarly, when it comes to lips, if your lips look plump and fresh and nice, then that means you're well hydrated. Otherwise, you need more water. All right. And now coming to how to drink water. So Ayurveda says you need to sit down, take sips of water, swallow those sips, and take breaths and repeat. Okay, now don't get confused when I say take breaths here. It just means, take it slowly. You take a sip and then you wait for a while and take sips like that instead of chugging water. It makes a huge difference. And now the obvious question, why should you sit and drink water? So when you sit, as per the body's mechanism, when you sit, the parasympathetic nervous system becomes active, which is responsible for digesting and resting. And when you stand, our body is designed in such a way that our sympathetic nervous system is activated, which is responsible for fight, flight, etc. So you need your body to be in a relaxed state so that water is absorbed well. It is not just for water, even for food. When you sit and eat food or when you sit and sip water, the way it is assimilated is completely different from the time compared to when you're standing and having food or water. And taking sips of water and taking that in and then repeating it slowly. That should be the right way of drinking water. And as you know, this popular proportion that is already known. So you need to fill your stomach with 50% of food, 25% of fluid, and leave 25% empty space. So this is the proportion when we're talking about meal times. Otherwise, you don't need to always stuff your body with this proportion. No. During meals, this is the right way. And when I say 25% of fluid, it also includes the gravy that you have, the buttermilk that you drink. It shouldn't be the water. It shouldn't be the 25% of water alone going in. Yeah. And now coming to the next important question, when and when not to have water. So it is best to have water on empty stomach in the morning to kickstart the day. So that is when your digestive system has become a little sluggish. It's well rested, provided you had an early meal. So in that early dinner. So in that scenario, your digestive system is well rested. So it needs a slight trigger to start off the day. So a cup or two of warm water is best to do this. And the other times that you can have water is, of course, by listening to the thirst. And when it comes to meal timings, it's best you have water as sips in between the bolus or in between the morsels of food that you take in. It's best to avoid having water immediately before or immediately after food. So when you have water immediately before food, it actually makes you full. It makes the digestive juices more diluted, which again leads to weight gain and things like that. And similarly, the same concept applies after food as well. And there's no hard and fast rule that you have to have water with the meal. If you're thirsty, drink water. So ultimately, I think the whole of this talk depends on, is going to revolve around one thing, which is listening to your body, listening to your thirst mechanism. Yeah, it's as simple as that. So we'll quickly move on to the next slide. So this could be a little interesting for some of you here. So something about water memory and water to heal. So this must be very interesting for you. So the molecular shape, the molecular structure of the water can rearrange itself or can change without changing its chemical structure by either sight or by touch or even without any physical contact for that matter. Isn't that very interesting? So here comes the water memory. So the way we treat water is the way it is going to behave back to us. So if you remember what our grandparents told us, before drinking water, sit down, have it with a pleasant mind, or it's a very common saying in our place in my hometown. They say, if you go to the right doctor, they just need to give you a glass of water. That itself can heal you. Of course, it would definitely be the fact that the doctor is a great doctor. But apart from that, the intention with which the doctor gives you that water, that makes a big difference. So those are the simple examples by which our ancestors have been trying to tell us that, water does carry some kind of healing power. It does carry a memory with it. So when it comes to healing, getting healed with water, the best and the simplest practice would be, to just feel grateful for that glass of water that is in front of you. So you don't need to chant mantras if you're not into it, if you don't know about it, or if you're not inclined to it. But a simple word of thank you, being grateful for having that glass of water itself transforms the molecular structure of the water, is what the scientist says. And it's been proven. There's been a lot of research articles on it. Yes, so that's how you heal with water. And a lot of people practice water memory these days. Now coming to herbs and spices that can be added to water to enhance the property. So there are different kinds of spices. So usually people think, Ayurveda is all about spices and all the spices are good for me. So let me have all of them as per my wish. Please don't do that. So even spices, though Ayurveda does have, it does mention a lot of details about spices, Indian spices. It is not something that's very that you can just take the way you want, because even though they're very natural, they are quite potent to cause harm and otherwise to the body. So have it very mindfully. So the different kinds of spices that are available, which can be used to boil water, are cinnamon, clove, black pepper, raisins, hibiscus, tulsi, giloy or amrit as you call it, dry ginger, cumin, coriander seeds, fennel, licorice, vetiver or ushira as we call it, and amla, and many more. There are many more drugs which can be used that way. So now how do we use this mindfully? For example, a Vata Prakriti person, people with a lot of dryness in the body, or people with a lean structure, they can use spices like cumin. Dry ginger is also okay, but not too frequently if you have a very sensitive gut. If you have too much of burning sensation in the body, try to avoid dry ginger. Cumin is a very safe option. And for Pitta Prakriti people, anything that cools the system is good for them. So things like coriander seeds, licorice, vetiver, fennel seeds, cumin seeds are all great for Pitta Prakriti. For Kapha Prakriti people who are a little bit on the no, I wouldn't say healthier side, but who are quite tolerant, who have a much better gut tolerance. For them, cinnamon, clove, black pepper, they're all great options. And if you feel you want to cool down your system, you feel very dehydrated, boiling water with a little bit of raisins and having them cool, having the decoction cool will actually help in cooling down the system. And I've just added few tips here that you can follow. If you have cough or cold, boiling water with cumin or giloy will really help in relieving that. And adding a little bit of candy sugar to it will really help. Candy sugar, I didn't mean the refined sugar, the mishri that we talk about. And in case of fever, giloy or amrit is a good option. Dry ginger is a very good option. And in case of urinary tract infections, barley is a very good option. And for people suffering from diarrhea, loose stools, rice water with boiled with dry ginger will work best. And as I said, dehydration. In case of dehydration, cool infusions of black raisins will work really well.
Here also, could you mention how much amount can we put in for a liter of water, maybe a spoon?
See, when it comes to cardamom, for example, for I think almost 3 liters of water, you just need to add 2 cardamoms, not more than that. So similarly, very little quantity of water, spices. For a 3 liter of water, cumin seeds can be just 1 teaspoon of it, not more than that. And if you can dry roast and use them, it's much better. Same way, coriander can be 1 teaspoon or 1.5 teaspoon. Not too much of it. It shouldn't. So ideally the water shouldn't look too colored as well. If it's too dark, then that means you've overcooked it or you've added too much of spices to it. That's the best way. And whenever you're confused, you think, oh, is this the right spice for me? Do not overdo it. Do not have it on consecutive days. Take a break. Yeah, if you think it's not suiting you, take it for a day and then take a break from that spice, and then you can have water there. Yeah. And yes, that's about it. And at the end, so add mindfulness to your drinking and eating habits and consider that as a very sacred act. It's not just about gulping some food, or it's not, when it comes to food, it's not just about proteins, carbs, fats, that way. And when it comes to water, it's not just about the bottle that it comes in. Oh, it is this water or it's packaged water. No, water, as we understood here, carries memory. So even just this, if you look with love towards the water, if you look with that gratitude, that creates a molecular change. Yeah. So practice that. It's as simple as we say it. So just before having a glass of water, thank that glass of water. Thank the fact that you are able to have a glass of potable water, which is a luxury these days. So yeah, keeping it very simple, listening to the thirst, showing gratitude to the cup of water that you have in front of you. Yeah, that's all. Thank you. Thank you all for the patient listening. And now you can shoot the questions.
So I think, as you have mentioned about water, when you are grateful, even our body is made up of 70% water. So obviously, when you are grateful, even the molecular change happens in our body. So the whole system itself really gets rejuvenated. Shall we take up the questions after the meditation?
Yes, sure.
Guide us through the meditation.
Oh, so you want me to guide through the meditation?
Yeah, sure.
All right. All right, so let's just quickly do some slight stretches. So take a deep breath in, take your head back, breathe out, chin to chest. And now slowly start rotating your neck from the right side becoming aware of every movement that's happening in your body. So breathe in, go back, breathe out to the center, relax and reverse the direction to the other side. Make sure you have a smile on your face and relax. Yeah. So let's quickly start. You can keep your eyes closed and take a deep, long, joyful breath in and breathe out. One more deep breath in, and as you breathe out, relax your body. And place the entire weight of your body to the chair or the floor that you're sitting in. Now, as you do that, feel the lightness in your body. And now, slowly become aware of the thoughts in your mind. They may be pleasant or unpleasant. Let them be. Just be a witness to all your thoughts. Breathe in and breathe out. Your thoughts could be about the present, the future, or the past. Whatever they may be, just be the witness here. Now, once again, take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, become aware of any pleasant memory that you have. Think about any pleasant memory from the past. And as you have the thought, observe the changes in your body. There's something in you that is expanding. Become aware of that. One more deep, joyful breath in. And as you breathe out, relax even more. And whenever you feel comfortable and complete, taking your own time, you may slowly open your eyes. It's a quick meditation.
Thank you for this meditation.
Thank you.
Let's start with the questions now. Can you tell us about alkaline water? Manjana ji asks.
All right. So, alkaline water. First, let's understand why is alkaline water so important. So, the blood that circulates in our system, it has a pH of towards alkaline. The blood is alkaline in our system. So, anything that we eat, especially the rice, the pulses that we eat, that makes our system more acidic, which eventually leads to different kinds of diseases in the system. So, why alkaline water? When we have alkaline water, we are bringing our system back to its alkaline nature. Yeah, and these days there are a lot of filters that are available which can make water alkaline, which are very expensive. You don't need to do that. There's a very simple way of making alkaline water at home. So all you need to have is a big jar and add in a liter of water. To that you can add 4 slices of peeled cucumber, 2 slices of lemon with the peel, just like how you cut for salads, and put them in the water. Let them stay in the water and it can stay overnight, and the next day morning you can remove the pieces out of it and consume this water throughout the day. But one point that you need to remember about water is, just as I said, it is alkaline. It brings down the excess acid in the body. So do not have it 30 minutes before or after your meals. Yeah, I mean, do have it only 30 minutes before or after your meals. Otherwise it impairs your digestive process.
So here, when we spoke about the spices, can we add these cumin seeds or coriander seeds in water and keep it overnight and also have it, or it has to be boiled only?
No, so there's another concept called as Fanta, which I've not covered here in Ayurveda. So that is the cooled decoction that you have. So yes, it can be soaked in water, and the next day you can just have it have it cool. Do not warm it again. So that becomes Fanta, and the property is much more cooling for the system. Especially adding coriander seeds that way is very beneficial for cooling down.
Okay. And how about having water during lunch, breakfast, and dinner? Is it good enough?
Is it good enough? Having only during the meals?
Yeah.
No. So that's again, trying to, teach the body that the body is not used to. As I said, keep it very simple. Listen to your thirst. And sometimes what happens is we are so used to the norms that are around 8 glasses of water or 3.5 liters of water. We've been gulping water all through our lives. So maybe you might be in that point of life where you're like, I don't have thirst. I don't know when I'm really thirsty. So if you're there, something that can really help you is to have a glass of water every time you go to the loo. So immediately after you come back from the loo, have a glass of water. So that is a good way. So eventually you need to start understanding the thirst, like listening to your thirst.
I think during people usually suggest that you don't have water. While having food, it is said that the digestive fire reduces. So is it okay to have water during meals?
In between, like while you in between the morsels of food, you can have sips of water. Again, it's not a mandate. If your system says, gives you the signal of thirst, have sips. Otherwise, there's no mandate like that. And yes, and of course, you need to use your logic as well. See, maybe suppose you're having pizza. So it's just dry. So there's no way of adding that 25% of water to it. So here what you can do is with the pizza have sips of water. That's how you maintain that proportion of water. So as per the food that you take, if you're having curd rice or if you're having rice rasam where there's so much of rice and rasam in equal quantity, you don't need water more than that. So that way, tweak it as per the food that you take. Yeah.
And I think you this question, Premlata. Some people tells us to drink 3 to 5 liter water uh, per day, and some tell not to drink that much. So, how much water do we need per day?
I think from today's session, I'm sure you're clear. Yeah. I hope Premlata, we've answered your question. Yes.
Okay. Some people talk about golden water and silver water and copper water, storing water in different utensils. So, could you tell us more about that?
Yes, so they're called as charged water. So there's something called as copper charged water, silver charged water, gold charged water, sunlight charged water. So basically adding positive charges to the water by adding a metal or by storing the water in a particular vessel. So, for an example, something that's very common, the copper water. So, what you can do is it's very simple. Uh, Add boiled and cooled water to um, a copper pot, and the next day morning you can have this water. But make sure you're not having too much of such charged water as well. Even that can cause some kind of impairment in the system. So keep it very minimal. 2 glasses of charged water is good to go, and it is very good. Nothing more than that. And similarly, silver charged water is when you add a piece of or a silver coin to boiling water. Say there's 500 ml of water, and reducing it to half with the silver coin in that, it gets the property of silver. So, and there's another beautiful way of charging water, which is sun charged water, where you are exposing water to the sun. A big can of water can be taken, expose it to good sunlight, but cover it with a white, clean cotton cloth and let it stay in the sun for 8 hours, and later this water can be consumed. So this is sun charged water, but make sure sun charged water is consumed within 24 hours. Not just sun charged water, for that matter, even the water that you boil for everyday use, make sure you consume it at the same day. Do not keep it overnight and have that same water the next day. The property of the water again changes.
So, the charged water and the alkaline water can be had together, or there has to be a gap between them.
It's better you maintain a gap between them. So just like how we have food, the water also needs to be digested in the system. So it's even said, the water that you have from one particular region needs to be completely digested before you have water from another region because the properties are different. So it's relevant even for water, not just for food. So keeping some gap would be a good idea.
And Nainish asks, how do you know what your body needs? Copper, gold, silver, charged water, which one?
All right. To keep it very simple, I would say copper charged water is the safest to have because and a good quality of copper charged water needs to be taken. I mean, a good quality of vessel needs to be first pot. So make sure you get a good quality of vessel. Otherwise, a silver charged water it's good for cooling down the system. And similarly, there are different properties for different metals. But the easiest one and the simplest one that you need to follow is a copper charged water.
Great. So that's all the questions that we have. Thank you so much, Dr. Nikita. It was really informative to know more about water. And the key here is to listen to the body and to drink as much as you can. Okay, maybe the last question is spring water okay?
Sorry?
Is spring water okay? Spring water.
Spring water.
Yes.
All right, okay. So spring water, again, it's a naturally sourced water which comes from the earth. So it is abundant in minerals, and depending on where it comes from, the quality of the water again changes. The spring in um, in Uttarakhand may have a different property. The spring that you get in the Middle East might have different properties. So as per understanding the property and then having it would be a better idea. But usually spring water is clean and safe to use. But again, you need to know what it contains. Otherwise, do not simply have spring water because it comes from the earth. Your body always cannot take or actually doesn't even need too much of sophistication when it comes to minerals.
Is RO have because it's hot water? Is it safe? Or because it is purified a lot, the minerals are not present, so it's okay to have or not?
So there are researches on this. So again, it says, as per the recent researches, and there are a lot of papers on it, which says RO water is not is just a marketing gimmick that they've created. So otherwise, RO water does not actually have the benefit that it talks about, and in fact, it does cause a lot of harm to the body as well with the kind of processes it goes through. So it is not really advised. But if you're in a place where you do not have access to good water, if the water is really polluted, there's no other way. So what I would recommend my patients usually is take the RO water, but again boil them. Maybe they can some sort of difference can be made. It is much better than having it just like that from the RO.
Good. That's about it. Thank you. And hope to see you soon, Dr. Nikita.
Same here, same here. Thank you all for joining in. And yeah, thank you so much, FitNCalm. You guys are doing a fab job, both of you. So take care.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining in. And if you would like to consult Dr. Nikita or you want anything more, you can write to us. We'll connect you with Dr. Nikita. And see you guys soon. Stay safe. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.